Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, fight night has concluded, at least this fight weekend as well. And Jaron Ennis just completed his win over Karan Chukhadzhian. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. Uh,
Classic.
definitely the fight. Definitely the fight took a different direction this time versus the last time. Chukhadzhian was on his bike in the first fight. He really stood his ground in this fight and was there to win the fight. And he landed a lot of punches on Jaron Ennis, Jay. And everybody knows we support Jaron Ennis on this channel, but at the same time, bro, I got to keep it a buck. This is the second straight performance we've seen from Jaron Ennis where, in my personal opinion, he did not look sharp. He was caught a lot in this particular fight, with Karan landing the left hook a lot. Also, he
Yeah,
just seemed to, like, I don't know, like his posture, his stance, it just didn't look good when he was in, close range in terms of just being in position to catch shots or avoid punches. Just got caught a lot. And I don't know, man. He was smothering his punches a lot as well. And I know Chukhadzhian was holding to a certain extent, but man, Boot smothered his punches a lot, where he just didn't give himself the space to really punch, and so he looked sloppy to me tonight, man. I don't know how you describe it as anything other than that. Again, support Boots, but it, those are things that he's gonna have to get cleaned up, man. He got caught way too many times with big shots, and I mean, shout out to him. He got a good chin, but you get in the ring with the right opponent with the right amount of power, and someone landing punches like that on you will put you out of there. So he gotta tighten up. Um, Maybe he shouldn't feel as comfortable standing in the pocket if he can't catch those shots in the way that he needs to. Maybe he needs to fight a little bit more from range. I mean, the guy was had definitely had a shorter reach using his jab, his footwork, and things of that nature to win the fight. Yeah, it just wasn't a good performance, man. I don't know how you can, and you can tell just by his energy after the fight and just the tone and you know the mentioning the fact that he may be moving up to 154 pounds. All those things just kind of tells me, he knew it wasn't a good performance. Yeah, I just don't. It just wasn't a good performance, Jay. What's your thoughts on that?
yeah. I mean, he got hit with stuff. I mean, he always rolled with punches, but he didn't roll with a lot of these punches though. A lot of these punches
Yeah,
actually hit him. To
yeah,
your point, he has a good chin on there. With the punchers such as Karan Chukhadzhian, but if he gets hit by another fighter that has power, how's he going to react with that? And
yeah,
even then, it's accumulation of those type of shots. You can't keep taking those type of shots over and over again.
yeah,
Because it ain't gonna catch you with something that you don't see. And it seemed like he really wasn't focused because it looks like he had his hopes up for fighting Brian Norman to try to get a unification. That fell through and he was forced to fight Chukwukazian again. He didn't want this fight at all. And in the fight, I've never seen Boots looking at it around, the whole time, doing all types of stuff. Not when he's showboating, he showboat before in other fights, but that's usually when he's actually done something. He wasn't even doing nothing in this fight at certain times, and he'll just be clenched up. He's over looking at a crowd, talking to Bozy, talking about doing stuff like that. To me, it shows a lack of focus on him in this fight here. Then at the post fight press conference, his interview afterwards, he was talking like he need to move up. Like the weight was hurting him. And that could be a possibility also because he's a big dude. He's a big dude. Karan came to fight this time. He said in the pre-fight game that he's coming to fight. He had something different, and he showed it. And
he
I
did.
give Karan a lot of credit in this fight. Um, Boots hurt him a few times in the fight, but he couldn't pull the trigger. But to your point, also he was smothering. He just seemed off balance with his punches. He didn't seem like the normal Boots that we've seen in the past. I don't know if it was because of Boots or Karan, or probably a combination of the two. I will say it looks like a lot of people might be licking their lips at this one right now. Because this one the boogeyman of performance that we are expecting. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, he's still a talented fighter. I'm not going to just say just this one fight. He's just all of a sudden he's not one of the top fighters. He's definitely a top fighter at 147. But what's the difference between him and the other fighters? That gap may have closed a little bit based on this performance here, but we'll see how he looks at his next fight. He definitely has the tools, but that defense, you just can't keep taking shots like that. Even if the guy can't hurt you, it doesn't look good for one. And the accumulation of it, sooner or later, one of those shots going to hurt you, or it might stun you in the wrong way. So
Yeah, shout out to Terrence Crawford too. Shout
yeah,
out to Terrence Crawford.
He
I
put
did,
a nice post out.
yeah, yeah. I'll
Yeah,
read it off. I did see the fight, but I heard about it. Stay focused and keep working on your craft. Every night's not going to be the same. Never get too comfortable in this game if you're trying to get to the mecca of the sport. Stay on your mission because all it takes is one slip up. So, no, shout out to him for you know that message because I think that probably means a lot from Jaron Ennis coming from someone who is at the mecca of the sport in Terrence Crawford.
and his measuring stick. That's the measuring stick for Jaron Ennis. That's where he's trying to be.
Yeah,
Future.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, my thing is, I think he has to get back in the gym. I think he has to really start to work on because whatever they're doing in the gym, he's doing this, and it's not working in the fights. He's like, I don't know if it's his timing that he's just not able to catch, but it's like he's getting his hand up in time, but it's like maybe it's not in the right position, or I don't know. But some of these shots are still getting through. Sometimes he looks like he's just too comfortable with like not having his hands up, and I don't know, just like he's not in a position to really, again, um, evade a punch, to catch it, slip it, block it, whatever. So
I
I
think
don't
it's
know,
a
man. He's
confidence, and I think he may be overconfident a little bit, as well as lack of focus. But like I said, I've never seen him
how,
just
how can you be that? How can you have
slipping.
lack of focus like that, and you want to be at the top of the sport? Man?
That's a great question. But when you're
Yeah,
fighting a guy
you can't.
that's forced upon you that you've already beaten, and you're disappointed in your first opponent performance against him, and he came with a totally different game plan for you this time, fight lack of focus and frustration. Probably more frustration than anything else, because he showed a lot of frustration with being held by Chukhadzhian, and he just didn't seem on point today. He just seemed off. He had an off night.
No, he looked like he did in the last fight, Jay, and he was getting caught with that too. Like I
No, I'm
can't.
saying he had an off night as far as like just just the holding when he's been held and just complaining about that, talking to the crowd. That's what I'm talking about off night, because that's not he's never done that before.
Yeah, I think he needs to get back into the gym and really focus
Oh,
on
100%.
sharpening up the things that he needs to sharpen up. And I don't think he's gonna find as much of an issue with getting guys to fight him at 147 because
Oh
this is
no,
the second
ready.
fight in a row where he has not looked good and he looks very hittable and he looks beatable. Specifically, if you think you can hurt him. So it is what it
Yep.
is. I support Jaron Ennis. I think the future's still bright for him. It's not that like the future's not bright for him, but there's some things that he needs to sharpen up for sure. You guys let us know what you think in the comment section in regards to this particular fight. Did Jaron Ennis just have an off night, or are we starting to see signs that maybe he's not the fighter that some people have said he is? Let us know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast and Sports Media, and we are out.